interest. Peter Tosh. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about arcade. I'm not in this world. Live up to your expectations. Good morning, Christine. Neither are you here to live up to mine. I don't want no one. I'm under no obligation. Everything is fine, whatever you say, it's fine. It's I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. That's all I am. I am. Say I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Say I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. That's all I am. That's what I am, I am, I am, I am. I am. Y-E-M. I am. That's all I am. These are avatars. Don't want to estimate my abilities. Don't defecate on the planet. I'm sorry. I try to be serious. It never works with me. Don't belittle my authority. It's time you recognize my qualities. I say I am, that I am, I am, I am, I am. I say I am, that I am, I am, I am, I am. I had to tell somebody this morning, aren't you raising proud black men? Nope. No, baby, that's what slave owners do. They raise proud white, black, Christian, Presbyterian, whoever they slaving. No, I'm raising gods. One job we have, parenting. Ain't nothing more than that. Learn to love your brother. Don't covet your neighbor. One job we have. One job. The view from the city and Australia is shitty. It is full of iniquity. You are what you are. You're not a slave now. I am. I'm almost ready to go. I am that I am. And that's up to you. I don't judge. You can raise Italian kids if you want. You can raise Irish kids. You can raise American. You can raise anything you want to raise. I'm raising gods. But God's greater than I. I need them to do greater things I have done. I need them to do. Which means I can't raise them the way that I was raised. I want to talk about Arcade Earth this morning. Good morning, everybody. Ooh, goodness gracious, did I hear a theory this morning? I don't even know where to start. Let me change the music. Good morning, everybody. What's up? Good morning, bonkers. Good morning, Christine. The mantra, I say I am. That's your mantra? What am I working on right now? I am. Goodness gracious, Christine, you forgot my meditation. You made me forget. Goodness gracious, what do I say this morning? Every morning I get up, I meditate now for about an hour. I am not of the body. I'm not of the mind. I am not of the body. I'm not of the mind. I am not of the body. This is merely an avatar. This is an avatar. That is all it is. We don't know what we are. We don't know where we come from. Everybody claims to think that they know. But Christine, I don't know. I am that I am. And I need to find that yam. And if I don't know what I am that I am, then damn sure I don't know my kids are they are what they are. Yam, are. So meditation is important. You got to go inside, people. You got to go inside. You ain't gonna find nothing outside. I think it was Buddha who said something to the effect of all suffering comes from desires. Gotta give up that desire. Gotta let it go. Let it go. People, there is one world power. There's only one government in the world. There's only ever been one government in the world. That's called power. If you don't got it, you ain't got the power. Y'all know that song. Does your nation have the power? I can tell you what, my nation, we just went through wearing face diapers, and that ain't in yet. We ain't got the power. We ain't got the power. Because apparently people can can take their economies back, they can take their industries, and they can damn sure take all the freedom. And it's because we take our avatars too seriously. There's only one world government. There's only one world government. It's called power. And I don't even think billionaires get ballots. I think the very few get to decide. And why? Because we all love money. We all worship money. Money is our savior. If you ain't got that money in your bank account, then, you know, I think we only got 2 votes. Now the trillionaire families might have more ways to vote. We only got 2 votes. You walk into that ballot, that election booth, you got 2 options: consent, walk away. That's all you got. You know, it's no Democrat, ain't no Republican, ain't no Donald Trump, ain't no Joe Biden, ain't no May, Merkel, Putin. Those are not true choices. They're not choices. I'm trying to tell you, the only powerful thing on this planet, the only government, is some people we don't know. You either consent to their psychopathic world by continuing to use their money, or you go back to the original money. I was thinking about original money this morning. Original money, the currency that we spend all day long, we don't recognize as currency. All day long, we spend it. And we've spent it since the beginning of time. It's called right thing currency. You can call it whatever you want to call it. That's what I was calling it this morning. Right thing currency. You get paid by doing the right thing. Always. That's what we've always done. That's what the majority of your day, you're not spending dollars or pounds or yen or rupees. You are spending right thing currency. But then again, let's be honest, let's be real. Some of us, we're spending that wrong thing currency because it makes us feel better. You do things because of the right thing to do, and you get paid from endorphins and being part of a collective, and we got to go back to the original currency. We got to go back to the natural currency. There's only one currency, and it's called right thing. People try to convince you that, oh, well, if we give up money, we did a good watch party yesterday with, who was it, Michael Tellinger of the Ubuntu movement, Jacques Fresco, the Venus Project, and Peter Joseph with the Zeitgeist movement. And once again, they all agree. And I'd love to say that these concepts are mine, but money doesn't have to exist. Mineral-based currency, right? The means of enslaving the planet. Right? The only way that you fight the powers is you gotta stop using their systems. You don't actually need it. You don't actually need it. We never need it. Because all day long, you do right thing currency. Think about your relationship with your friends and your family. Why do you do things for them? Every time they ask you to do something, do you ask for money, or do you just know it's the right thing to do? When your wife asks you to do something, do you ask her for payment? Don't answer that. So no, he just don't do it. He don't never do it. Every time I ask him, he's playing video games. Well, you know, he's in a video game. He's in a simulation Earth. There are a few things I can show you this morning. You don't ask for payment. And you might get a little moody if you don't get the things that you want. You don't mow that grass. Because we know how that goes with that thing that rhymes like grass. But, you know, that's okay. We got to walk away from money. We got to walk away from their money. Any way that you can, any how that you can, you got to walk away from their money, or we will be subject to this one world government rule. Heard a good theory this morning, and it's going to take me a minute to wrap all this together. The slave master always teaches his slaves that they can't exist without him. That's what they do. That's how they get you to stay. They convince you that you need them or you will die. You have no idea to take care of yourself. It must take care of you. Slave masters have always taught that. And it's the only objection I get when I say that your money it has to go away. It has to go away. It is our shackle and our chain. It is what will enslave our next generations again. They say, well, what do we do without money? What do you do now without money? That's the slave mind. It is literally the slave mind. Well, it was 2 things. It's greed and it's the slave mind. Right? It's greed and the slave mind, right? See, the greedy side is, well, I'm doing better than everybody else. I kind of got my savings. I worked hard for this. And I think my kids need to work hard too to get theirs. Right? That whole capitalism, you get out there and work for your slave master and secure your own retirement. You get out there and you earn a living. You get out there and you work for Massa. Massa take good care of us. Massa, we wouldn't know what to do if we weren't for Massa and his money, Massa and his currency, Massa and his plantation. Massa feed us, Massa give us clothes, Massa take good care of us. That's what I hear. Every objection to getting rid of this thing that's enslaved this planet. We need them. We need Master. We need, because we can't do for ourselves. We aren't gods. We're slaves. We're bought. We're white. We're American. Blows my mind. Proud to be an American. I was thinking about something yesterday. Growing up, I pledged allegiance to America. And I'm going to be honest with you. I said I ain't pledging allegiance to America no more. I am. Because you know what? I had to rethink this. I do pledge allegiance to America, to the United States of America, and for the republic for which it stands. One nation that wants to be under God, that's indivisible, for justice and liberty for all. I might have missed a word or two. That's okay. I haven't said that in I haven't said that in 20 years. I'm surprised it's still up there. I do. But let me qualify that. See, I agree with the patriots in my country, and I agree with the people who take the knee with Kaepernick. I agree with both of them. I think there's some things that they don't understand, but I agree with both of them. See, Kaepernick and his crew take a knee because they know something is wrong. They know that this is not a republic for justice and liberty for all, so they take a knee. Patriots know that they are supposed to be patriotic to the republic, but they're not. They're being patriotic to the United States Incorporated. See, that's a different story. See, I didn't pledge allegiance to the United States Incorporation. I would never pledge allegiance to Coca-Cola. I would never pledge allegiance to Pepsi. I would never pledge allegiance to Hershey. I would never pledge allegiance to Monsanto. See, I was lied to. I was sold a bag of goods. I was told that I'm pledging allegiance to a thing that will respect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, a thing that doesn't have a bank account, a thing that has no ownership over anything, a thing that is a republic that I have say in. Yes, people died for my right to have say in government. They didn't die for my right to vote. They died for my right to have say in public government. But don't get me wrong, I'm not a nationalist. I'm a localist. It's just at a certain level, I gotta be a nationalist. I'm an earthist. Right, on that level. I'm a nationalist on the national level. I'm a continentalist on the continental level. I'm a statist at the state level, and I'm a localist at the local level. And damn sure I'm always a human at the human level. Right? And I pledge allegiance to those things on those levels. But I think that's the part that they miss. They all know something's wrong. The left, the right, the patriots that are patriotic to international billionaires corporation because they think Donald Trump is somehow driving a ship that no country probably has driven in 100 years. The only government in the world is power. And we enslave each other by the use of money. All suffering comes from desire because we desire things instead of being happy with what we got. Our real power is walking away, not consent. You'll never gain any power by putting Jive and Bowden into Donald Trump, and you will never gain any power. That's how you give up your power. Democrats and Republicans don't give you power. My God, I tell you what, and I gotta let you listen to something, watch something. I'm doing this the original way because yesterday sucked. I can't do yesterday yet. I have to think, and I can't think if I'm like pressing too many buttons and trying to figure that stuff out. So we're gonna have to figure out how to make that work in the future. But for right now, I can't break it down. See who showed up to the shop, and then I think we need to look at some things from Bill, Greg, and we might need to look at what's happening in Australia. Unfortunately, my God, Australia. Woo! That sent me down emotionally this morning. Y'all have seen it. I don't know if they'll let you post it, but you can certainly send it through messages. The pregnant lady that they're arresting for a Facebook post. So what they're doing is they're arresting people who post things that they're saying incite protests that defy the government, for people to stand up for themselves. And as horrifying as that is, that grown men that are supposed to be defending this pregnant woman and her family. I'd show it to you, but I don't want to show it to you. I'll post the link, but it invokes too much fire. It invokes too much anger. I don't want that to come out. I have a message some thoughts I'm trying to put together. I'm trying to avoid that emotion. I'm trying hard. Make a joke. Damn it, somebody say something funny. It bothers me because they look at Australian people like, well, that's Australia. It's just happening in Australia. You don't understand. There is no Australian government. They're being told what to do like your government's being told what to do. Nothing is happening there that they don't want to do to you there. Okay? There's only one government, and we have no idea who runs it. Corporations and industries have a lot of influence in it, but it damn sure ain't the Australian government. What they're doing to them, they're bringing to you. All right. Let me say, I gotta greet some people first. I'm gonna get upset. I mean, this is an arcade, people. We're on arcade Earth, and goodness gracious, I gotta show you this theory. Look at this. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Who's that? Stacy is in the house. You were chosen one in 1,440. Okay, all right. I hope so. I hope I am. I'm trying. Barter is the only way to true currency. Money is false. I'm okay with barter, Stacy. I think that the original currency is right thing. Do the right thing. Always do the right thing. Do the right thing. And barter is fine, right? I think there's some tangible things above that are practical, but the only real currency is doing the right thing. You always got to do the right thing, and you can't worry if the Nazis show up to your door. You can't worry if the Australian police show up to your door. You can't worry if some children, which is effectively what they are, show up your door to enslave you. I'm going to start this morning with Bill. Brother Bill. Brother Bill. I don't know his last name. I think I posted this on my page. He was going through suffering. We suffer because we're sold a bag of goods. We suffer because we believe things that are not true. We suffer because we let television, consumerism, like money in this billionaire's world get us to embrace things that they will never give to us. If they do, they'll never let us keep them. And if they let us keep them, they claim the rights to them. But when we die, we don't get the whole thing. All right. Who is this? Bill Donna.
Is not the way you want it. He says only when you attain to the 10th world, which he called Buddhahood, we would call Christ consciousness, which is meditation. Only when you attain to that 10th world can you see clearly. And then the decisions that you made can be made on the basis of life the way it really is, not the way you want it to be or the way you think it's going to be. But how is it really? How do you draw things to you? How do you attract things to you that are positive? How do you make decisions in your life that are positive? You know, coming in here and meditating is coming in here and meditating. You still got to go up the stairs and out the door, and there you're involved with everything that is, for the most part, can be very hostile to you. It doesn't make any difference whether it's a relationship with your family, a relationship on your job, a relationship with the government, the police, whoever it is. They don't want to hear about, well, I meditate. Yeah, big deal, but you still ran the red light, so you're going to, you're going to pay the money. Well, I meditate. Yeah, but you haven't paid for the car, so we're going to come pick the car up. So there's a reality involved in all of this, and unfortunately, much of church becomes very difficult for the average person to deal with, because you're told if you do this, everything's going to be okay. And you do that, and it's not okay. So then you say, oh my God, what that causes you to do is lose faith in Christ, because you were told if you did this particular hocus pocus, he was going to come down and take care of everything. Well, you've done it, and everything is as screwed up as it was before. In fact, maybe it's a little worse than it was before. So now, let's take a cause and a renge, a cause and effect. Buddha says the cause of all suffering. Let's take it. The cause of all suffering. And he summed it up in one word. He says the cause of all suffering is desire. Everything that has hurt you in your life has come as a result of either a desire that you have or a desire that somebody else has. Sometimes some other person has a desire to have what you have. And they'll take it. And it's going to cause you to suffer. Or you may desire to have something somebody else has, and you try to take it, and you're going to suffer. And basically, if you get into psychological terms now, the way that psychologists teach you not only personally one-on-one psychology, but they'll teach you like in corporate psychology, and what I get involved in often, is if you want to find the root cause, and that's the important thing, finding the root cause of the problem. What is the root cause of the problem? Then you have to do what they call the repetitive whys. You take the problem, you put it on a piece of paper, you say, I should be happy. You draw a line down the center of the paper, on the other side you put, but I'm not. That's the problem. Now the next step is, why aren't you happy? I say, because of this. Then you say, well, if that exists, why does that exist? Well, that exists because of so-and-so. Well, why does so-and-so? And right on down the line, and those repetitive whys will eventually take you right to the center, and you'll find out the cause, the root cause of the suffering. As I said, it's just like an infected tooth. You know, you can take pain pills and you can take aspirins, but all the while that thing is doing damage in there until it's rooted out. And that's what Shakyamuni Buddha tried to tell the world, that the cause of all suffering is desire. And it does, and it can become in various shapes and various things. But see, when you go into what he said was the necessary thing to do and start understanding yourself, and you go into the aspect of meditation, then you begin to see things and your desires change, because you start to conform with the changes inside of you, so that you look at things outside much differently than you did before. Your desires are nowhere near what they used to be. Joan and I first got married. Our desires were to max out every credit card that we had as quickly as we could. And that's what we would do. We'd go to Bamberger's and we'd just buy and buy and buy until that terrible time came, you know. We'd go up, Joan would hand our credit card, and it would light up, the red light would come on in the lady's machine. And of course the thing you'd say was, there must be some mistake. This is outrageous. I demand to see somebody. And they'd give you the card back and you'd go out, and I'd say, well, let's go to Sears. And so we jump in there, we take another, get our Sears, and we go, and that's what we did. We left a trail of credit cards all over the place. But that was the desires at that time.
Desires from a practical perspective. I turned the volume down. Let me know if he was a little clearer. Hopefully you could hear. I turned the music down a little bit. So from a practical perspective, like, so suffering, think about it from this perspective. If you want what only I have, who has the power? Think about it like that. If you want what only billionaires on television, industries, and corporations have, if you want what your neighbor has, if you want what your friend has who has a husband that you want what your friend has or your family member has who wife, coveting. You give up your power by desiring things that are not yours, that perhaps belong or with something else, right? So think about it from a practical perspective. I'm not talking about desiring joy. I'm not just talking about desiring love and the things internal. Anything that you seek is from outside. You give up your power to those who have it. On this world, who has most? Right? So this is what he's saying, and this is how I read it. Right? We are literally in an arcade game. And all the coins, all the power, all the cars, the houses, the yachts, all of the things that they tell you to desire from birth through television and media are with the few. Why is the earth? Because we give our power to them. So you are under your power lifelong, trying to acquire the things that they tell you will make you happy. Desire is certainly the root of all suffering, because you desire things that you don't have, and because you don't have those things, you suffer. I don't know if that's Buddha's teaching per se. That's Buddha right there. Buddha know more about Buddha than I know about Buddha. Buddha know more about Buddha than Buddha know about Buddha. Anyway, so and he's kind of got a Christian spin with it. This is why I like this guy, Bill. I've watched a few of his videos before. I like how his mind works. I don't always agree, but I do agree. When we desire things that are not within our realm, like Christine were talking about earlier, meditation. You desire things that are not things within you, things you manifest. And sure, you can manifest practical things, I guess, if you want. But there probably is a difference in manifesting them and getting out there and struggling against other gods and goddesses to get it. In walks that problem with economies and money. Let me take you somewhere else. I'm gonna try to paint this picture as quick as I can. There's only one world government. You either consent to it or you walk away from it. That's it. Those are your only options. We are beings that have given up our power because in mass we've consented to this psychopathic world. I think this is it right here. Here we go.
Welcome to
Brother Greg. What is that? It's a commercial. I'm going to show that. I've got the power. And that's the whole point, Christ. You got the power. You got the power. And that's all they fear. They fear that you will realize that you're not white. You're not American. You're not a North American. You're not whatever they say that you are. That's the only thing that they fear. They fear that you will get rid of these identities that they've given everybody for their avatars. Because once you get rid of that, you take your power back. Because then you don't want nothing from them. Like, how do you get your power back from a man in a relationship? Ooh, yeah, you know, I like those examples. How do you get your power back from a woman in a relationship? As long as you want what they got. Did we not just yesterday watch the lady rip the door off? I might have to play that again, right? Who had the power in that? Now, she was powerful, but who had the power in that scenario? Yes. Now, I'm not asking who got hurt. Who got hurt later. I'm saying she went up to the door and ripped the door off the damn hinges, right? He had the power in that scenario. If somebody can make you upset, they got power over you. If somebody can make you happy, cry, sad. Didn't Denzel Washington say that movie Training Day, Smiles and Cries? Life is about smiles and cries. If you control when people smile and cry, you got the power. You got the power. You're King Kong. King Kong ain't got nothing on you. You the king around here, as he said. Check this out. I love how Greg's mind works. I don't always agree, but he said something very powerful to me.
Hello, my name's Greg Braden, and I'd like to welcome you to this very special presentation of Missing Links, Simulation by Design. Are we living
volume good?
in virtual reality? Well, in the last episode, we identified the laws that govern our virtual world, the basic laws of physics, and what it takes to master those laws in our lives. When we consider these understandings and we merge them with everything else that we've learned throughout this entire series, well, it's enough to make our heads spin with possibilities, and suddenly we have a new way of thinking, a new vocabulary to describe our relationship to the world and to life itself. The implications, they're staggering, and the questions are endless. So in this final episode of Simulation by Design, we'll answer many of those questions, and by doing so, we'll come full circle to where we began this series, only now we have the vocabulary to make sense of our virtual reality.
Let me preface this real quick for any new folks to get scared away right off. Like, this is anti-Christian, this is anti-Muslim, this is anti-religion, this is anti-science. Hear them out. Hear them out. Simulation theory, whether it was created by a god and someone else calls it creation, it was created by the mother, created by Gaia, created by fungi. Don't worry about what somebody labels a thing. Just process through the thought. The reality is none of us know. And that's the space that I resonate in. None of us know. A lot of us think, none of us know. And I think when you can not know, it means that you can actually seek God. It means that you can actually seek science. It means you can seek the truth. Seeking the truth and seeking God are the same exact thing if God is truth. So don't let simulation theory scare you. Everything is a simulation. On some level, everything is a simulation. And me personally, I believe that this whole thing is a simulation. Might be the whole dimension and universe, but just go with that for a second. Sounds good.
In this program, you've seen the evidence that tells us it is more likely than not that we are living in a simulated world, in a virtual universe. And you've seen the evidence that is telling you that you have the potential to interact with this universe, to interact with this reality in ways that have seemed mystical in the past and were reserved for the monks and the nuns and the abbots and the shamans living mystical lifestyles. Now we know we don't need to live on a monastery halfway around the world and leave everything familiar to us, our loved ones, our jobs, our families, to embrace these seemingly mystical powers. Because when we understand the relationships, we demystify the experience in the contemporary language of science.
The more time you spend at home, the more you want easy, affordable updates. And Cost Plus World Market is my go-to.
We are now talking about mystical connections, and we are marrying those connections with the best science of the modern world to give us a new view, an evolutionary edge to understand what's happening in our world, and beyond that, how we may direct the events of our lives and the events of the world in a positive, powerful way. So as you've seen, the parallels between the laws of physics as we know them today and the rules of the simulation are absolutely clear. They're unmistakable. And the evidence is showing us, more likely than not, we are in fact in the simulation. So what I'd like to do in this last segment now is pull all this together. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts, what this experience means. Let's jump right into what it means to be in a simulation, the implications and the questions that invariably come up. Questions like, where's heaven? Where is heaven? When we think about our simulation and we think of the descriptions of heaven, the word itself was left to us about 2,500 years ago. What does that mean to us in terms of the simulation? Well, simulation is a localized experience, but it tells us we're not really here. You're not really here. We exist somewhere outside of the simulation, and we are projecting our energetic body, what we call our spirit or our soul or our avatar, into this experience so that we can learn something here that apparently we cannot learn where we've come from and that apparently we're going to need wherever we are going.
Process that. We're not from here, but we are here to learn something that we need wherever we've come from, right? Because if we didn't need to be here, why would we be here, right? If we come from somewhere else, and we know we come from somewhere else, you know, consciousness is a signal. We came here for a reason, and that's the number one. Well, it is a spit that people have against simulation theories. Well, people say it's a simulation, it means nothing matters. No, everything matters. Everything matters. Everything matters because we went through the bother of creating all of this and all the bodies and take time from our busy days, wherever we are, whatever we are doing, to come here to do this. So everything here is very meaningful, very meaningful. I like how he described heaven. The only thing I would add to heaven is root heaven, not man heaven, root heaven. To a degree, if we created an arcade dimension, arcade Earth, arcade Milky Way galaxy, whatever it might be, simulation, we'd have to create a God. We'd have to create a God. We'd have to create a heaven and a hell. We'd have to do things to drive us in a certain direction for certain reasons. So I think there's root heaven and there's heaven heaven. In my example, being raised in the church, I'll say root heaven. King James heaven is not heaven. King James heaven is simulation heaven. It's the things that we're told to do to try to head us in the right direction. Love thy neighbor, love the da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't think Muslim heaven's a real heaven either. I think that's the heaven that's given. Why would you have, how many, 32 virgins? How many is it? 36, 27? So why would you want virgins in heaven? Why would a spiritual wave energy creature thing of a soul want genitals in heaven? I don't think those exist. I think those exist for this plane because you need these things to procreate. And of course, there's great feeling in it. Why? Because you need to multiply more than the others are multiplying. But so to me, when you take concepts that are obviously evolutionary from man and you put them in a scripture or a religion, to me now, they stand out like a sore thumb. And it's obvious that that's not from a God. It's obvious that that's from a man who wants virgins in heaven to abuse back in a time when it was okay to rape women and treat them as cattle. But then again, has that time ever really passed? Has that time ever really passed? Don't give me another whole, this discussion can go so many ways. Y'all know me. And I just sit back and say, we got that NSA thing. Rape should have stopped existing when we got that NSA thing. They let rape happen. They let abuse happen. They let child abuse happen. They know everything. They hear everything. They could intercede anywhere they want to. They don't. And that is another good example that the departments in your country aren't actually serving your country. They're serving a greater whole of a need, a global organization or global corporation or something that don't give two damns about the people in your country. Process that. All right, let's let him keep going.
Now, this is a really, really powerful concept. The idea that we are not here, and the biology actually supports it. What the biology is showing us is that our cells receive information that defines who we are. The surface of the cells, the receptors, receive this information. And that's why when we take our cells and we put them into the body of another person through an organ transplant, for example, that person rejects the cells because it's not them. We have an identity. And that identity begins somewhere beyond our simulation. And in terms of the ancient texts, that is what was called heaven. When we leave our simulation, we shift our consciousness. We go back to where it is that we came from. And for me, I believe that, and I think it's really good news. It means that we will see our friends and our loved ones again on the other side, what is called the veil, on the other side of that veil. And I hope that there's a time on that other side that we can look back and review everything we've done in this world and hopefully laugh about some of the mistakes that we've made while we were trying.
In the next 90 seconds, I'm going to tell you what I learned that allowed me to go from feeling completely hopeless to building.
And to learn about ourselves in this simulation. So heaven, I believe, is the ancient word for the world that we live in, that exists on the other side, outside of the simulation we find ourselves in right now. So the next question, what does that mean for death? Where do we go when we die? If this simulation theory works the way that the science suggests and the way that I believe that the evidence is directing us, it's really good news, because it means when we die, what we call death is the end of this representation of us in this limited simulation, what we call our avatar, just as we're seeing portrayed in the films and the media. Again, consciousness reminding us of ourselves, communicating with us, informing us of the reality of our world, consciously and subconsciously. So when we die, this avatar no longer exists in the physical realm, but our essence that we've projected continues in the realm outside, perhaps in another physical body. So once again, we think back, what is the purpose of a simulation? A simulation is to learn a new way of being in a realm that is relatively safe, because we need that way of being when we go to another place. So if we are individually, collectively, outside of our simulation, we're in a control room somewhere, we're in some kind of a technological environment, we'll talk about this in just a few minutes, where whatever has happened in our world is telling us that we need to learn a new way of being. Here we are in this situation, and we are learning what we're learning. One of the things that I find really interesting is the concept of time. You know, I think...
Pause there. So we're here to learn something that we need for wherever we're going, or whatever happened to where we were. So I want to process that for where we are right now. What are the real problems that we have right now? The real problems. Because if we created a simulation and we're in some sort of control room, if, I don't know, our planet died, we almost went extinct, it's inhabitable, and we all injected ourselves into a matrix to figure out how we got there or how to fix a problem. If there's a purpose for the game, like this is a flight simulator, you're being taught how to fly, right? So if we created this matrix and this simulator for ourselves to create or solve a problem, then I think the most pressing problems will be what we're trying to solve. And right at this moment in time, there certainly is a global, world, powerful governance that defies all of our freedoms, defies all of our ability to be sovereigns and to be gods. And so maybe we are some sort of civilization that almost went extinct, that created a simulation to learn how to stop going the direction we go. And so what I was thinking about this morning is that, so maybe it's how to stop a global, powerful, suffrage creating group, organization, powerful elite family, whatever you want to call it, on a planet that everybody worships them, on a planet that everybody needs money, likes money, wants money, and money is their savior, and all consent. But even if you don't want to consent, you still consent. The model requires you consent to even exist. Maybe we created this to figure out what paths to take to avoid the destruction of wherever we are. But the point is you're here for a reason. And it's not to make money. You're here for a reason. And it's not to take up pride in your avatar, pride in your skin, pride in where you came from, pride in cultures that have been dead for who knows how long. You're not here to conflict and fight with each other. I think, and this is where the whole Christ-like thing comes in. Christ is my teacher. And I do attempt to be Christ-like. But that doesn't really mean I'm a Christian. I got issues with that word nowadays, like I said. You are that you are. I am that I am. Christ cultivated us. Christ didn't raise you as a black person or white person. Christ didn't teach them to be this, that, or the other. Christ taught them to love each other, to help each other, to only use that currency of the right thing. Right thing currency. Do the right thing. Don't expect anything in return. Do the right thing because it's the right thing. And also Christ said, the greater things I have done, you will do. How can my kids do greater things I have done if I raise them to be the same slave that I am? How can I cultivate my kids to be gods or goddesses if I give them the same avatar bull shizzle that was given me? That's why I said, and it bothered this person. I said, no, I'm not raising black men. Why the hell would I do that? Do I look like a slaver? Do I got a whip? Why would I raise a black man? Why would I raise a white man? Why would I raise a child, a god, to be stupid as I am, to be indoctrinated? I'm supposed to be cultivating something to do greater things than I have done. I'm raising gods. I'm not raising blacks. I'm raising gods. Gods that can't seem to clean the room. But that's okay. That's all right. We're working with it. It's a cultivation process. It's a process. But I think we are in an arcade. I do think we are in a simulation. I think we are in some sort of creation to learn a thing, and you don't want to use the wrong currency too much. Right? Currency is used to control the global population. That concept has to die, and that's mostly what we had talked about yesterday. Watch party, Christine. You missed it. You were asleep. You're in Belgium. I don't know how she don't. Christine is always here. Woman, you need to go to sleep. Sleep deprivation will make you an American. No, girl, you need to go to sleep. You're gonna be like the Americans. Lord have mercy. Speaking of Americans. All day long, I feel like a recorder. I think I'm gonna start making shirts. I'm gonna make shirts that just say 9,210. That's it. 9,200, 9,000, all day, 9,000. They gave me an excuse. Nope, 9,200, 9,210, 6%. 6%. We got big problems. Cuckoo virus ain't one. Ain't never been one. All right? My Americans still walking around in these masks because global, powerful people that we put in the arcade simulation have enslaved everybody. All right, let me go back and do comments. Yeah, I mean, this is just where my mind is at, what I'm thinking about. If you are new around these parts, it's always a discussion. I'm not teaching nothing. I ain't got nothing to teach. You're a god. You don't need a teacher. You're a god. Right? You need to live as though you're a god. You need to live as though you are a goddess. Nobody is here to teach you. You can learn from people. You can learn from scenarios and examples. I think all matter you can learn from because that's what we're here for. But you are a god. You are literally a rendering machine, a rendering piece of energy. Things don't exist till you look at them. Things don't have depth till you look deep into them, you know. First you see people, then we look deeper and we see cells, and we look deeper and we see atoms, and we look deeper and we see protons and electrons, and we look deeper. And then we see, I mean, we're all the way down to the Planck energy now. I find it interesting that the deeper we look, the more there is. First we looked up, we only saw stars. We looked beyond that, we saw solar systems. We looked beyond that, we realized we're in a universe and it has to be 15 billion years and everything's flying away. We can never find the ends of this simulation. It's almost as though somebody keeps pulling the end away. Or the further we look, the more it renders based on us looking. That everything exists in wave format, and it only becomes matter and takes up particle form until we see it. Until then, it's almost like we're on a circuit board and we are creating things as we look. We are rendering machines. We are manifestation engines. Almost like we're in a simulation. That world doesn't exist till you go in that room. When you go in that room, the room renders. Interesting times that we live in. I desire happiness, peace, beauty, and meaning. And Lori, and I think those are good things to desire. And I think when we look within, we have all of those things. We have all of those things. Those things are robbed by physical desire. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Christ. I think that would be envy or jealousy, not desire. Well, right, and they're envious and they're jealous because they don't have a thing. They desire a thing that they don't have, but they want to be in a position that they're not. They want to be that husband or that wife, and so they've got that envious. They want to be that person who lives in that house, right? And then that brings about the suffering. Is Jimmy talking to somebody? What you got there? You are not thinking like a fifth child. You have what I want and will not allow me a way to have the same. The fifth child starts a fire and burns the garage around your wagon. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking to me, Jimmy, but I think we need to start some fires. I'm a fire child. I do believe that it is time to start fires. But to walk away. So Jimmy, and I did one for you yesterday. I was thinking about, I was on Instagram, Jimmy, and I got pissed off. Jimmy T is a protest guy. He's big into the protest right now. And I guess I was going down my Instagram thread, and there was a picture. I wonder if I can find it. Maybe I can show it. No, I don't know about it. So I saw a picture, and it was a couple people that y'all will call black people or minorities, whatever you want to call it, coming out of a store. And one of them was young, youth. Maybe y'all seen the picture. And he was holding a bottle in his hand and something else. They were looting a store and they were running out. I almost feel like I got to show you the picture. If I can find it. I think I'm going to post this later and just ask people what they see when you look at this picture. You know, like I said, I got friends on the right. I got friends on the left. And I'm a little concerned with some of the things that people post. Hold on, let me see if I can quickly find this. And there was a caption that was a little disturbing to me. Because I think, and the person who posted is a great person, but we too often fall into this arcade stuff. I know who did it, and I'm gonna try to cover the name up. I'm gonna cover the name up, so I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. You know, what do y'all think about the rioting? What do you think about the burning in the cities? They said American cities are on fire. I don't watch the news, so to be honest with you, I don't know how bad it is. But there was something, I got some sort of a pop-up yesterday that made it sound like it was bad, and people are posting a lot about it. So I imagine that things are destabilizing in a lot of cities, and I think it looks like people are getting on buses and going from city to city to loot and burn. Or at least that's the narrative, right? That's what they're trying to convince me is going on. How come I'm not finding the person's name, even though they're always on my mind. So I can't find it. All right. So just imagine that. Maybe I can find a looting picture. Let's do that. Find a generic looting picture. This was kind of for Jimmy yesterday. Because I'm not for protest. I'm not for protest at all. At all. I think you should do it if you feel called to do that, but I'm not for it. Let's do protest and looting. I'm not a beggar. I think that we are so beyond begging government for anything. All right, here we do. We'll just do some generic looting pictures. How about this? Maybe my thoughts on this won't be right. So, here we go. A bunch of looting pictures. All right, let's see if I can move that down a little bit. I mean, what do you see when you see this guy? This is an older guy. I wish I could find the exact one. It was a young guy. He was running out of a store, and I don't see it. What do you see when you see this? What are you thinking? What are you thinking when you see people grabbing all these things that they suffer from not having? Suffer from not having. Why are these people grabbing? So when I looked at this, you know what I saw? I saw people grabbing clothes. This man got some panties. I think those are those panties? I think those are panties. This man has panties or a bathing suit. So why would people do that? Oh, because they're violent and they're dangerous and they're immature and they're this, that, and the other, and they're this has nothing to do with George Floyd. I think a lot of us told you that this never had anything to do with George Floyd. Never had anything to do with George Floyd. George Floyd was the pin that popped the bubble. Right? It was a pin that popped the bubble. Whether controlled or not, it doesn't matter. The bubble was real. Right? The difference in gap in income, the having of things and the desiring of. See, the thing is that television doesn't just hit one group, it hits everybody. That desire gets programmed into everybody. And people will only suffer but so long. Clarify one more time. I am not for protest and I'm not for looting. But I understand, and I hope that you understand. I hope you understand. So I can't find the exact picture I wanted to show you. We got to be very careful with this self-righteousness. Got to be very careful with it. I can tell you this. The reason why these people are out here looting these stores is because they weren't born where I was born. They didn't luck up where I lucked up. See, I'm not out there looting, but I know I could very easily be. Oh, these guys are thugs and gangsters and horrible people and blah, 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 blah. Is the system that manufacture these people horrible, mean, and gangsterish? See, all day long, people tell me I should be voting. All day long. You make sure you get out there and vote. You make sure you get out there and vote. You make sure you get a difference. Yesterday I had to check a lady, which was interesting. It was a great conversation. I'd say my percentile is about 70% now in calling people on bullshit. So I just don't, the hypocrisy. Most people are hypocrites because they don't know. And I try to educate people. Say, yeah, we got to get out there and vote. Make sure we get them out. Get them out. Get them out. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I really don't care. And so I proceeded to explain to her that your side doesn't do anything different. The only difference is you don't look at it. Right? And so, of course, she's telling me the good things that Obama did and how this guy is so bad. And I told her what I always say. I said, Donald Trump is the perfect president. In fact, to be honest with you, Donald Trump is not psychopathic enough for what America needs right now. So when I look at these looting pictures, I see people who are done suffering. I see people who are playing this arcade earth game, and enough of that mental illness slipped in, enough of that suffrage slipped in because they can't have the things that they desire because their desires were programmed by television, by saying the Pledge of Allegiance, by telling them that they would have fair, equal capitalism, free market opportunity, and they got none of it. And so now they're burning. And I think the post said something to the effect of, this is what thugs do, or I'm messing it up. I wish I saved it. I didn't save it. This is something about this is what thugs do, and getting the police out there after that. And all day long, people try to get me to vote. And what went through my mind is I'm looking at people and I see laundry detergent, I see soap, I see food, I see all of these things. But most importantly, I see what every time I pull the lever to vote, I see what that did. These people are burning down cities, perhaps, maybe they're looting them, but we burn down nations. You got two political parties in my country, every single NATO country I know of burns down entire damn nations. So I don't really care about youth. I don't care. Wrong word, Gerard, pull back. I get upset when I see people being hypocritical about children. Children who did not have an option, who are now trying to fulfill some desires, and you're an adult and you should know damn better. Don't tell me that you got a problem with pedophilia and child abuse and you don't give two damns about kids who were born in this country who never had any opportunities. And you vote to burn down nations. Vote to burn down nations. You got an issue with them burning down the Target. Please grow up. Please don't be a hypocrite. Be anything you want to be. Don't be a hypocrite. And you can be one if you want to be one. You can be a God hypocrite, but you ain't gonna be one around me. Democrats and Republicans burn down entire nations with people in them. At least they ain't burning nothing down with people in it. Voting. And y'all beg for me to vote all damn day. Are you crazy out your mind? Are you crazy or stupid? Which one? See, this is my point, is that so it's bad when kids do it. It's okay when you do it because you are too cowardly to go over there and burn it down yourself. So you get the military to go do it, which is full of youth. They're just beyond kids. So they go do your dirty work for you so you can have all these things at Target. And now you're upset about them burning things down at Target. Maybe that's what this simulation is to teach us. Maybe it's trying to teach us hypocrisy. Maybe it's trying to teach us that we always lose in the end when we choose to use our avatar to abuse other people. See, I think when you use right thing currency, there is righteousness all over earth. When you use right thing currency, but when you use fake, artificial, control the population, monetary currency, you have wrongness all over the planet. All right, I'm gonna stop with that because I don't like it but it is what it is. But hypocrisy will always send me there. It's not a ploy for riots. It's a ploy for grown adults to process like they can process, to critically think like they can critically think. We have to accept the things that are ugly, that we don't want to see, that we don't like to say, in order to make real solutions to make them go away. But if we sit here and lie to each other in this video game, in this simulation, based on our avatars, we ain't gonna get nowhere. There's only one world government. There's only one government in the entire world. And you are either voting for it, which enslaves you, or you are walking away from it. What it wants are the resources, it wants the land, it wants the power, and it's gonna get it. Things are getting real. Things are getting real. Things been real for a lot of people for a long time, but things are really starting to get real. No, not going to show you the Australian one. Not going to do that. Arresting an Australian pregnant woman is going to piss me off. So I'm going to try to keep it light. I do want you to hear one more thing, though. London Real.
I'm the developer of Linguistic Genomics, which was the first platform on which you could determine the intent of communication rather than the literal artifact of communication. But we've also used that technology for a number of other applications in defense and intelligence and finance, and most notably in the early 2000s, my company was responsible for bringing down what was at the time one of the largest tax frauds in US history. We maintained a series of inquiries into every individual, every organization, and every company that is involved in anything that either blurs the line of biological and chemical weapons or crosses that line in any of 168 countries. In 1999, there were 1 million patents digitized by IBM. And those 1 million patents were the first time human innovation had been put into an electronic digital searchable format. We took that information and we did a very simple exercise using our linguistic genomics technology, where I made the horrific assessment that approximately 1/3 of all patents filed in the United States were functional forgeries, meaning that while they had linguistic variations, they actually covered the same subject matter. In 1999, patents on coronavirus started showing up, and thus began the rabbit trail.
March 2003. Panic grips Hong Kong as a deadly new virus sweeps through the city.
In 2003, the Center for Disease Control saw the possibility of a gold strike, and that was the coronavirus outbreak that happened in Asia. They saw that a virus they knew could be easily manipulated was something that was very valuable, and in 2003, they sought to patent it. And they made sure that they controlled the proprietary rights to the disease, to the virus, and to its detection, and all of the measurement of it. We know that Anthony Fauci, that Ralph Baric, that the Center for Disease Control, and the laundry list of people who wanted to take credit for inventing coronavirus were at the hub of this story. From 2003 to 2018, they controlled 100% of the cash flow that built the empire around the industrial complex of coronavirus.
The World Health Organization has
The Corona Industrial Complex. I'm not going to play anymore. I'm going to post the link. I can't play anymore. I'm not going to. I already know that where that's going to go. You can't play those things online. They need people to blame nature. They need people to believe that these organizations are not for-profit chemical companies selling scams to you. The first videos that were taken down on this were Dr. Buttar telling you about the patents. Maybe that's the reason why none of the tests work. Because no one's allowed to create a test for something that actually isn't natural. Right? Remember, you can't patent something that's nature. You can only patent something that's created. And I'm not going to convince you I know anything about all the different strains of corona. Blah, 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 blah. I do know that something stinks to high heaven. I do know that. I do know that 9,210, and that's on false positive tests that make mangoes, a goat, and some motor oil positive for this thing. Which means that the people who die from this thing are less than 9,210. Less than that. And millions of people are going to die from what just happened. Something stinks to high heaven. I still see people in masks. I don't see governments launching investigations. I don't see governments getting rid of the pesticides that make this worse. I don't see anyone seeking into the creation of these monsters in laboratories all over the United States that have been farmed out all over the world. All right. The world is being controlled by very few people, and none of them are on your television. None of them. None of them. All right, let me go back to the beginning and do comments. Earth is an arcade. I don't know where we're from. But I know we got things to do while we're here. Things to do while we're here. How about we do those things? Let's do those things. Those things don't have anything to do with cars, small electronics. They don't have anything to do with all the crap that they show you on TV. They have nothing to do with the things that they tell you to desire, to create suffering, to drive you like a slave. We are slaves on a plantation. We need to accept that reality so we can actually accept real solutions to actually fix the problem. Did I see the arrest of the pregnant woman in Australia on her Facebook post? I did, Diana, and that's part of what this is about and what pissed me off. Things are actually getting real. They've been real for a lot of people for a long time, but they are getting real now. You're going to have to pick and choose if you really believe in the things that you speak. I expect to see people falling away. I expect that most people probably weren't passionate about the things that they said. Yes, these global organizations, they control the Australian government, they control our government, they control all the NATO government, they tell them exactly what to do. What's happening in Australia will be happening to you. There's no question about that. But if you know that you're not from here, if you know that you are in a simulation, you know that you are here to do a thing, and that thing is not survive. You are here to do a thing, and that thing is the right thing. Right thing currency, not cash currency, right thing currency. They might make some money. You might get people standing up. You might go with them. You might go to the FEMA Walmart camp. You might go to a prison, but you got to decide who you are if you really believe the things that you post, because they will put you in prison for them. They will try. What am I going to do? Depends on the day. It depends on the day. I might go with you peacefully, or we might go ahead and let that be the last day I can reboot, go to the lobby, and come on back. Just depends on the day. And depends on the thing. Don't do anything stupid. Like, be very methodical. Think out what you need and want to do. But make sure it's the right thing. Make sure it's the right thing. Make sure it's the right thing. Yes, I did see it, and it was profound. It was profound, but people need to understand that this isn't a game. It's a game, and it's not a game. It's a game, and it's not a game. All right. Good morning, Citizen Deb. We can manifest with our minds. We can, Stacy Holden. Once you want nothing, you have everything. And that's the whole point, Stacy, is that when you go inside for the things that you desire, nobody can control you. Nothing can control you. When you want the things that are out there, currency will control you, corporations will control you, nations will control you, violent people will control you, mobs will control you, police will control you, politicians, everything will control you. Husbands and wives, boyfriends, friends, they'll all control you. But when the things that you desire come from within, you put your joy in places that are actually rooted in whatever we are, from wherever we come from. You're not things of this simulation, right? Like the only way that you get Mario to run around is you got him chasing coins. I'm sorry, I just had a vision for a moment. I just felt like my whole life has been Mario. My whole life has been a brown Mario, running around and made. My parents put me in kindergarten to start the game out. And that's beginning to run around looking like a fool, jumping up, hitting my head, grabbing coins. What a horrible, horrible way to abuse children. And I lucked up. I got a lot of coins. So I'm not out there burning nobody's target down. I'm not out there looting for critical needs. I think we're too late in the simulation to have people who don't have the bare necessities that they need. And that's why I did that watch party yesterday. It's still out there, Christine. It's I like solutions. I hate wasting people's time. Peter Joseph has a solution. Jacques Fresco has a solution. Michael Tellinger has solutions. All right. And they all agree on some things. They disagree on a lot of things. In fact, Peter Joseph and Jacques Fresco had a falling out. But they all agree across the board on one simple concept. You cannot enslave humans. You cannot put shackles on them, whether they're made of iron, whether they're made of gold, or fiat currencies. You will never get the true behavior out of this amazing godlike creature that comes from somewhere that we don't know. if you can control it in the simulation and make it do what you want to do. Self-seeking, yes, Gina, self-seeking. Seek yourself. Find that root Gina. Not all the stuff that's on top that was given root Gina. Root Gina has a reason to be here, and she's a part of a collective and a whole. Thomas Berry, not more. The universe is a communion of subjects, not a collection of objects. Thomas Berry. A communion of subjects, not a collection of objects. Love it. Love it, Pat. Typical Aries, calling for fires. And I don't know if am I Aries? I guess I am, Christ. I'm Aries, Taurus. Somebody said I was Taurus. I'm a little late on these things. I don't really understand it. But yeah, no, I'm calling for love. Love, but love sometimes has to manifest itself in fire at times. Makes sense. We are waves of energy. Yes, we are, Lord. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle, back in the middle. And that's all I got. You damn right. You damn right. Love that one, Christ. Absolutely. I got clowns to the left of me and jokers to the right. And they want me to clown and they want me to joke in a time, in a place where we're in a simulation and we got real work to do. And that work is not based in medieval struggles over resources and minerals. Instagram is more controlled by the CIA than Facebook. Reddit is the FBI. TikTok is China. Everywhere you go, Jimmy, nowhere you can go. Nowhere you can go. And that's why we can't run. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. This is global control. And I think Instagram is even owned by Facebook now, isn't it? Waste of time and energy, Jasmine's talking about. Jasmine, don't ever do anything that wastes your time or your energy. You're an amazing wave creature energy thing. Every single job and every single career on this planet is a waste of the most powerful energy that's ever existed in this simulation universe creation. We don't have time for this nonsense. We don't have time for being slaves to billionaires because they dictate the career paths of what sentient creatures can work on. Things that give them more power. Constructing their world to be better and stronger at enslaving our children. Ooh, yes, they were, Lori. They were some big panties. Yeah, they did. Well, maybe he got a big girl at home, Lori. Don't be big girl hating. Ain't nothing wrong with the big. Let's get it for the big girl. Everybody is beautiful. Don't matter the size of the panty to the drawers. Because these are just avatars. They're just avatars. And I know you're joking. Anything of value to barter or trade. And everything has value, Jimmy T. Everything has value, and the most valuable things probably don't have any matter in them. The most valuable things, I think, are the things that you do. They're intangible. Love, compassion, right thing currency. I love that. I think I might have to coin that one. Right thing currency. That was the original currency since the beginning of time. It's the currency that keep important relationships together that last a lifelong. They have no value. Their right thing currency is so valuable, Jimmy, it doesn't even have a value. There's no value. You can bring a person to tears by just doing the right thing. You can change a whole person's life by doing the right thing. You can change the direction of an entire civilization like Nikola Tesla if JP Morgan let him do the right thing. Right thing currency is the only important currency. It's the only one. It's the only one that we should even operate anymore. There's no reason for currency to still exist. Grab everything, trade later, go to the for sale side of the groups of Facebook. You'll see all this stuff up for sale or trade. And Jimmy, that's, to me, I mean, it's what people probably have to do. You know, I'm not in any position to judge anybody out there grabbing anything. I'm not in a position to really judge anyone that grabs things out of my house. Right? I was born privileged. I had a great life. And these people are my brothers and my sisters. It doesn't excuse what they do. I understand their suffering and I feel their pain. And we need to be able to understand each other's suffering and feel each other's pain so we can do the right thing and get paid appropriately. We always get paid. At the end of the day, everybody gets a paycheck. Somebody said that. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to steal somebody's quote. They said at the end of the week, everybody gets a paycheck. They get 2 paychecks. You get 1 paycheck from Satan and you get one paycheck from God. Or they'll say it another way. You get one paycheck from evil and one paycheck from good. Say it another way. You get one paycheck from sustainability and one paycheck for unsustainability. And hopefully that touches everybody's belief systems. You just want to make sure at the end of the week, your sustainable paycheck is bigger than your unsustainable paycheck. You want to make sure at the end your good paycheck is bigger than your evil paycheck. You want to make sure that your God paycheck is bigger than your Satan paycheck. But everybody does good and evil, right and wrong, sustainable, unsustainable, all day long. Just make sure that you get more right thing currency than Rockefeller currency. Does that make sense? Humility is seeing through real eyes. Yes, seeing through real eyes, Lori, and realizing. Real eyes, not these eyes. Real eye, not these eyes, real eye. Being able to see people for who they are. They are not black and white. They're not rioters or protesters. They're not prayer boys, and they're not Black Lives Matter, Antifa. They're just people. And they're all highly controlled by television. And if we're not out there rioting right now, we are what's called the privileged. We have riot privilege. We have no loot privilege. We have privileges that they don't have. We are going to stand with our brothers and sisters who need our help on all sides. They need our voice and they need our ability and strength to walk away from a system that was never on any of our sides, or will stand in judgment of them. All right. I see mental illness, not in a bad way. I feel sorry for it. And I do too, Bonkers. And oh yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Right? Compassion. Compassion. Yes, thank you for that. Compassion. Because what does suffering do over a long period of time? Right? We know desire is the root of all suffering. So if desire is the root of all suffering, and those desires come from television and they show you things that these people can't have, then what does suffering become over time? Mental illness. Flips those warrior genes, gives them the ability to do things that none of us would do. I do feel sorry for them. I do feel sorry for them. We need to fix the system for all of them. We need to fix the system for all of them. Absolutely. And that's in mental, that's the right way to put it. The system has caused mass mental illness. Yes, Lori, it manufactured like a product. And people out here voting right and left, voting for mental illness left or mental illness right. It manufactures all the problems and they think they're self-righteous, and they're not. Neither am I. I pay taxes. Check out Sheila Maker sometimes. I'll check out Sheila Maker. I thought you were going to talk about human resonance, Pat. I will do. You know anyone you consider completely sane? Absolutely not, Lord. Nobody. I know a lot of people who are so much saner than I am that they seem sane. I don't think anybody's sane here. I think this Earth Arcade video game thing, it would be pointless to send anybody sane here. I think everyone kind of picks and chooses or ends up where they are for mass data collection. Sane people, I don't know how anyone could exist on an insane planet and be sane. I think if anybody develops sanity, they kill them. Indeed, my brother, we certainly wouldn't be in the predicaments we find ourselves. And we certainly are in a predicament, Sandra. I think we got to go down to root values and root principles. The rest of us are nuts. Yeah, I think we're all nuts, Lord. I think we're one big planet full of bag nuts. Dane Wigington on geoengineering, what he said. Yeah, if you're fighting climate change and you don't know who Dane Wigington is, if you think we're in this simulation to stop from burning up a planet to figure out how do we avoid climate change when everybody wants money and everybody needs money and everybody worships money, you need to check out Dane Wigington. Check out Dane Wigington, and after that, you need to look into JFK's speech on climate change and LBJ's. You will be highly educated. And you know what? Who is that? Barbara. And actually, I talked to the same lady about that yesterday at length. You know, she's saying, yeah, we're burning up the planet. And I said, yes. The question is, who is we? Who is the we that's burning up the planet? And look into the Invention Security Act of 1951. The planet is being burned up because the few that run the world's real government either want to or don't care if it is. but they're not giving up the power. They need to keep everybody on fossil fuels so they continue to increase in power. They decriminalized theft, of essential items in Dallas County. Oh, that's a beautiful thing, Christ. That's a beautiful thing. And that should be decriminalized every day, everywhere. If we were sentient creatures, Christ, nothing essential would even have a price. I think that kind of rhymed a little bit. If we were sentient Christ, nothing essential would have a price. And we can have that world. We just choose not to build the world. You know, in my mind, being an engineer, for me, everything is solution, 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 solution. I don't care about your type of government, your currencies, what you want, blah, 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 blah. Solution. People need food, here's a solution. But the people have to deploy it. You know, all the technology we need to make sure that everybody has everything essential, and even the things that they want, even most, if not everything they desire, we have the technology now. It's literally a keep away game to keep away things from people with artificial scarcity to keep this slave plantation. Yep, that's why I said not in a bad way, because it's been programmed into them. I feel bad for them. Yep, it's been programmed. It absolutely has bonders. Food riots. Yeah, Jimmy, they're food riots. I don't know why anybody would, they're not grabbing things other than things for, the guy had all them Panasonic devices, electronic devices, whatever. One thing when I hear the hashtag food riots, Jimmy, is what was he going to do with the Panasonic small electronics that are basically stolen from Africa and Latin America? They stole the minerals. They have slaves that mine those minerals, little kids that they put in holes to get the coltan to make these things that we sell on a black market called Wall Street, and we get upset when poor people go and get them to buy food. But we're okay when the billionaires, trillionaire families burn down the other nations for those political parties we vote for to steal it. I just got one post. If I do a panel today, you want to be down. All right, that's one person. We can do a panel every day. I'm not sure who that is. The icon didn't come up, but yeah, we need 2 or 3 people to do a panel. If you got 2 or 3 people who want to have a discussion, then I'll set up the panel, let y'all go back. I'll jump in and out, but mostly let you say what you think. Dane Wigington on geoengineering.org. 5G, I shouldn't have said that, is installed and being used at higher levels than these protests, at the protest sites, experimenting on it. Absolutely, Barbara, because we've always done that. We've always done that. In fact, I wouldn't doubt it if they determine where they go so that they go to the cities that have that 4+1G. And we know it's a weapon. It's, who is it, Raytheon? Raytheon's the one that created that. Actually, it goes back to the 1940s. That frequency, what it came from Germany, I forgot, Germany or Russia. I think it was Russia, right? So it is a weapon. It's a weaponized frequency that they convinced everybody is for lightning fast internet. But all you got to do is go look up the doctors who talk about 4G. 4G causes cancer, then you don't need to have any discussions on 4+1G. Not if you're trying to save grandma. You stop subsidizing it. You wouldn't be trying to race to 6G if you're trying to save grandma. All right. Revenue rising. It is bonkers. We need revenue to fall. We need revenue to fall off the side of the earth. I believe they boost in the brain that makes us aggressive. Absolutely, Christine. And chemicals do that, right? There are a lot of chemicals that create those instabilities. They create stress in the body that make people violent. And they probably is what they're spraying on the food, maybe these pesticides. One thing we need to reclaim is the mystical tradition in the West, reclaiming Swedenborg as well as the others we have yet to discover, like Eckhart, Hildegard, you went all these names. See, this is why I keep Jonathan around. He's a smart brother. But we absolutely have to reclaim mystical tradition, because mystical tradition is it's a technology. Mysticism is a technology. It's just a technology we don't utilize this yuga. This yuga we've been utilizing capacitors and mnemonics and circuit boards and what we can create with gold and currencies and conflict. But I'm pretty sure there was another yuga that we did where we just worked on spirituality. We worked on technologies like yoga and meditation. And the great thing though, Jonathan, is those things are becoming popular again, right? That's the only reason I meditate, is because so many people do. And once you start doing it, there's some weird addiction to it that I cannot explain. The only reason I stopped, Jonathan, in terms of meditation in the morning is because I got to go to slavery. I got a bag of cotton and it ain't gonna pick itself. I got a bag of cotton and it ain't gonna pick itself. I'd watch that. What would you watch, Trish? The angel wants you to kill everyone and yourself. The Morning Star. Hate mankind, his jailer. All right, Jimmy. That post got cut in half, lots of laughter. Read the next one, the whole thing. All right. I'll get out of here and see if y'all want to panel or now. I think you are figuring this out. I am too. Glad we are working in the same piece. Haha. Well, thank you, Stacy. I'm not sure. I'm glad you think I'm figuring things out. I'm glad you think that. To me, it's just getting crazier and crazier. Who was that? Matt? Brother Matt said the other day on one of my posts. He said, "Yeah, I can always tell it's your post because it sounds crazy till you think about it, until you get to one word." And it's like, oh, okay, it makes sense. I don't know why my mind does what it does. Maybe it's the meditation. I have no idea. But I can say this, is that we all have a place in whatever all this is. And everybody needs to take their place on that throne. The throne of you. Because you are a god. You are a goddess. And stop taking the position on the place on a subhuman enslaved seat on a slave boat, proudly with avatar identities. Digital dollar is coming, and it damn sure is a slave ship. It's just the new slave ship. It's the new slave ship. The digital dollar is coming, and it's just the next way that they're going to enslave you. And the Democrats and Republicans all agree. In wherever country you live in, your government agrees as well, because they don't have to agree. They're being told they are moving to a digital currency called the digital dollar. It'll be the world's reserve currency, and it's guaranteed to keep the same people and the same families in power and to enslave your children to these people. And all it is just the next slave boat. It's the next slave boat. Slavery never ended. It just keeps changing form. I think it's about time we stop taking positions on the boat. I think we stop arguing, fussing, and fighting. Oh, I want to be in the front. I want the big seat. I want the little seat. I want this, but you got chains on it. Okay? You're arguing about where you get to sit on the slave boat called currency, digital dollar. The legislation's already out. You can go read it. It's called the Banking for All Act. And you got everybody fighting. I want to sit in the white section. I want to sit in LGBTQ section. I want to sit in Britain section. I'm like, maybe the slave boat ain't a good place to be right now. Maybe we can evolve beyond slavery. Maybe we can evolve beyond using any other currency than right thing currency. You know, I could be wrong, but I'm right for me in terms of if money went away today. Nothing for me would really change. Would it change for you? It wouldn't change for me. I'd still do the things I'm supposed to do, because most of the things I do, not all of them, but most of the things I do them because they're the right thing. I don't do them because I get paid. You know what I mean? Hey, top bunk. Who wants to be on top bunk? Holly. Holly's like, I want the top bunk. Yeah, let's keep slavery. Let's get on that boat again. Like, no, maybe we don't do this to the next generation again. We've done this before. We've ridden this boat before. Holly, we've been on this boat before. We know where it's taking us. Maybe we should just say no to the digital dollar. Maybe we should let them know ahead of time. Maybe we shouldn't vote for them. Maybe we should let them know that, no, I know you're planning a new scam. I know you have technology to make sure that you keep the billionaires and trillionaire families at the top, that you can free everybody and not create a new society based in global mental illness manufacturing as opposed to just local ones. But you got to say no. It's not the politicians' fault. It is not their fault. It's our fault. We consent. Not one politician can defy it. It's not your Donald Trump, your John Biden, Barack Obama's and Putin's. They're all going to go right along with this system because the people that you're talking about are very powerful people. These people can burn down continents. They've enslaved continents. You think that one person you pulling the lever is going to fix that? It's never going to happen. Ain't nobody that stupid on this planet. They used to say stupid stuff to me, y'all, like, Gerard 2020. Look, you go ahead and put Gerard 2020, I'll be driving that boat. You put Gerard, he's gonna free us. I tell you what, Not when most people consent to slavery. Nope, I'll be right up on top, next to the captain. Hey, captain, where you want us to drive? Yeah. I'll be driving the boat right on top. We going to slavery. We gonna love this. This is gonna be fun. You know, out there defying it. This is a human thing to do. Our evolution is a conscious one, away from being avatars in a video game and start doing what we're supposed to do. The right thing, because it's the right thing, and not getting a paycheck for it. We don't need no more leaders, no more followers. People say, do you follow Gerard? You better not. You better not. You and your children gonna be slaves. I'd shackle you up with everybody else. Because as long as the collective agree to go that direction, there are no heroes, people. There are no heroes and there are no villains. We're a collective on a planet, and the powerful are mentally ill as the weak, as the poor. It's a trap for them like it's a trap for us. When the poo hits the fan, my bucket of potatoes will have more value than your bag of gold. It will, Trish. It will. Guard them potatoes, girl. But guard them potatoes, because people burning down targets for potatoes now. They burn down your house for potatoes. I tried to grow enough for everybody. I can't even harvest them, Trish. I can't even get out there. I was going to get out there. I was out there this morning. I couldn't get the potatoes. I had a few other things. My canola tree fell down again. I strapped it up this time with electric cord. Every rope I put, the damn thing is heavy. Y'all ever grow canola? I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. I can make biofuel with it. I was looking at doing that. You can make medicinal with it. I was looking at doing that. But that thing, it produces. It ain't no joke. Pumpkins everywhere too. Pumpkins just took over. Once again, y'all not growing. You're not a gardener if you growing pumpkins. You know, because you ain't nothing you got to do. Pumpkins and zucchinis and potatoes are probably in that. If you don't know what to do and you see food lines in Texas, it's a good idea right now. Get your butt out there to that grocery store, get them potatoes, cut them jokers in quarters, let them dry out for 24 hours, and put them in the ground, depending on where you are. Most places right now in the United States, where I'm at, you can check your planting guides, but it's not too late to get a look. If anything, you can get a seed crop for next year. Right? You can get some for next year. That's what you got to do. You know, who said that? Was it Trish? Trish, I know the protesters are actually upset. I know that Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Prayer Boys, and all the rest of them, the left and the right, I know that they're finally upset enough and they want to be free. When they stop begging their government and they start planting seeds. When they start planting seeds, you only have one government in this world, and you only get two options in voting. And it ain't red and blue. It ain't black and white. It ain't left and right. All of that is for more power. To the most powerful people who print the money, who make up the concept of money and have all the power. All you can do is walk away. And I know you're ready to walk away when you reclaim that power. When you decide, I don't want to be a part of this. You start putting food in the ground or working with people who are doing that. You don't actually have to have a yard. You can invest in people doing that. You can invest in growth systems. You can invest in somebody who lives on the outskirts of your town who's got a little more land. But hey, listen, can you put some potatoes in there? Look, I'm watching this brown guy on the internet. He says he ain't black, but you know, that's another story. He says that we got to reclaim our power back. He says that if we are strong enough to make our own decisions and we don't need the infrastructure, that we can tell government what it's going to be, where it's going to be, why it's going to be there, how long it's going to be there, when it can't come back, if it's even allowed to exist. But we got to be able to have food, water, take care of ourselves and our family. And it kind of reminded me of my grandfather used to say. This brown guy, he tells jokes every now and then, but I think he's on to something, because my grandfather said that. My grandfather said people who can take care of themselves, can feed their own, they actually can stand up to anything. But if you can't feed yourself, you can't take care of yourself, you're dependent to whoever provides you that infrastructure. We all have to pull together, people. That's the time that we are at. That post got cut in half. Oh, is that the post, Pentagon post, Barbara? I didn't know what post you were talking about. Was that my post? I'm sorry, I'm tired of him taking my post. Y'all gonna leave my post alone. They like to take my post down. What the one with where I told everybody is just no difference in the people burning down the street and the political parties burning down the nations. That one, that people are looting Target and you're mad at the poor people ain't got no food that's looting Target, but you're voting for the people that got political parties that's looting entire nations, but they live in mansions and gated communities who will never even return your phone call if you call. Did they take that one down? Hope they did. That means it worked. If your post stay up on Facebook, people, it means it didn't work. It didn't work. If they take it down, then you did something. All right, I might jump on the panel depending on how stoned I am. All right, Christ, whether it's you, Holly, we just need one more. Trish said she'd watch it, but you got to get one more. Somebody else, do we have another? Do we have another who wants to speak to the people? That means you are in the center of, you want to state meditation. Yes, Christine, Bill Gates, why is that even still a name? Naomi, Brother Richard, good morning. G is a funny dude. I'm not a funny dude, Matthew. We just live in funny times, and I just speak what I see. I can't get pumpkins to grow. Diane, then you need to stop planting on concrete. That's the only place pumpkins don't grow. The damn thing is taking over. I can't stop it. Diane, I've given up. I've actually given up. I've given up. I just went out there this morning. I was like, oh my God. There's pumpkins everywhere. I'm gonna have to open a pumpkin business. These damn things. I got one that's grown on the fence and is everywhere I walk. I can't even get through the garden when I was stepping on. They're just everywhere. Everywhere. They're weed. They're weed. But I tell you what, I might turn into a pumpkin if you are what you eat. I'm gonna have pumpkins going. But you know what? It's such a beautiful thing though. And that's what nature does. It provides. It means there ain't nobody starving on my block. Might be somebody starving on your block, but I tell you what, ain't none of them kids gonna starve on my block. I am not a hashtag save the children phony. Not that you are if you hashtag save the children. I'm glad that you found that compassion. Welcome to the struggle. Please have compassion for all children in all ways, of all colors, in all nations, everywhere. And consider that there are nations, there are children in the nation that you vote for a political party to drop bombs on. Gee, we do have real life heroes today. Their names are Del Bigtree, Mickey Willis. They don't wear capes and masks. I disagree. I might have called Del Bigtree a hero in the past. Mickey Willis. I think there are people who do heroic things, and let me explain why I say that, Barbara. Because anytime I say Julian Assange, they're like, he's CIA. He blah 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 blah. All the people start to get. I can't even post Black Panther like, oh, he's a pedophile. He's from Hollywood. Kind of like, oh Lord, people. My goodness gracious. There are people who do heroic things for the moment. Everybody is different in the moment. You're going to be a different person tomorrow that you are today. There are people who do wonderful, amazing things that are heroic. But if we cheer them as heroes, then to me, and the CIA people are right who keep saying, the CIA! They are right. We develop cult followings for people that we shouldn't, right? We develop leader follower, master-slave relationships by how we talk. So I just changed how I talk on that, Barbara. Effectively, they could be heroes, but I think if you put a cape on them, call them Batman, or don't put a cape on them, still call them Batman, people are going to follow them. And we don't need anyone to be. The only hero that I know of Barbara Peters, in Barbara Peters' world, is Barbara Peters. Right? And but people do heroic things. Del Bigtree has done beyond heroics, and it's obvious of that it's obvious Del Bigtree has done heroic things and Gerard has not, because Del Bigtree is no longer on YouTube. That man has done something incredibly heroic, no question. I don't like the word anymore because I don't want people to think, because like Peter Schiff, as in, one more example, Peter Schiff. So I sent it to a family member, I can't say who, and And I explained that, well, I sent this to you because Peter Schiff just said something powerfully heroic. Powerfully heroic. I'm not saying follow Peter Schiff. I'm saying that there's something that he said, or most of the stuff he says I disagree with, I think. Because he's a money guy. He's a money guy, but he can explain to you money and banking and how that works. Right? So that's all I'm saying. I don't ever want to give anybody Diane McCarthy, Free Hillians, like, hey, Diane is a heroine. And anyone follow her, and then Diane have a bad day. Everybody has a bad day. Everybody. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just having some images in my head. All right, you're awesome, G. It's really good to smile. with knowing this information. Much love. No, I'm not Austin Bonkers. I'm just a dude. That's all I am. I'm just a dude, and many other dudes and dudettes. We got dudes and dudettes. We got dudettes. Everybody has a part, and nothing's fantastic about doing what we're supposed to do in this simulation. All right, I get to throw a party for a 6-year-old living vicariously. All right, good. Good. Love throwing birthday parties. And is anybody paying you, Sandra? Is anybody paying you for that birthday party? Or you getting right thing currency? That's what I see. This is a good example. Right thing currency. She's doing it because it's gonna make kids happy. Now it's a false reality. You're giving kids a false reality that the world is about happy things and people doing things for you for free. But it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. All right. Last comment. I'm out of here. Marianne, right? I think anyone under double digits. The paper boy. What's that? The paper boy needed a new industry to take a cut from. Seems they make great trimmer. They make great trimmer for just a cut. Flower Child and Flower Children Family Farms. All right, Jimmy. Last comment, and I'm out of here. I think you failed. You got that? All right, YouTube, we're done. Let me see. I mean, I love how you can inject humor into this good. Oh yeah. Well, I thank you, Bonkers. I appreciate it. I don't know. Whenever I see darkness, something just makes me go the other direction. Right? I don't know why that is. See, you see that? See, it just happened, just right there. I don't understand me. Anytime I see darkness, I think I laugh at it because I'm like, really? Like, really? Like, rape still exists. Like, this is us. Really? Seriously? Like really? Cuckoo virus. Like, you sell pesticides. You subsidize sugar. You have Rockefeller allopathic medicine that only makes money if you make people sick and get rid of their immune system. But really? You mean to tell me my government cares about my health? I really hate to say this, but nigga, is you crazy? It makes me laugh. It does that. I don't know why. We got food lines in Texas 10 miles long, and we live in a country that can have potatoes and zucchini and just choking the life out of everybody. People can't even build houses because you got pumpkins growing everywhere. We could simply do it, and I laugh, Bonkers. It's just, it doesn't make any damn sense to me. Like, what the hell is wrong with us? Like, this isn't real. I start pinching myself, Bonkers. There ain't nothing it can't be real. Stop. You come on, man. Are you kidding me? You got people in the CIA telling you they grab children, they give them to the government, and people still voting for them. It's not funny. Bonkers, it ain't funny at all. But I think it's my only coping mechanism because I can't believe that I was a part of something so evil when I couldn't see. And I think more than anything, I'm probably just laughing at myself. Just like, man, I can't believe what the hell was wrong with me. Which is why my kids got to be upgrades with me. I will not raise anybody to be as dumb as I was. I will not raise anybody to be as indoctrinated and foolish as I was. And it's not a hit on my parents. It's a hit on the indoctrination engine. They did the best they could, and we got to do the best we can. And the only way we do that is we break the chains that bind us. We got to break the chain that binds you. And we know that that's currency. We know that we got right things. But we got to set the world free, and we can have perfect harmony. Is it time for that yet? Is it time? Like, this is ridiculous. 2020, 12:13 p.m. Ain't it time for that? Free the people. Don't the children need to be free? I love this song. Pat Riley is just amazing. He just puts the music, takes me 4 hours to say. From the bottom to the top, everybody, left, right, blue, green, yellow. Modern slavery hasn't stopped because slavery ain't never good. They changed the flavor, but they never stopped. Do you want to let go? For the prisoners, you want to let them out, understand that they're all mentally ill and they were made that way, given desires, so they weren't happy because they were suffering. You see how all this fits together? You see how all that just goes and goes and goes? Beautiful time to live in. What do you think about that? Anyway, this is Gerard. Love y'all to death. We are in the apocalypse. And the apocalypse means revealing. It's being revealed to us. Please open your eyes